Needs a new battery. It's not in the budget.
Sorry.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'm here. Counselor Kim.
Here.
Counselor Smith.
Present.
Counselor Harris.
Here.
Counselor Pagano.
Here.
Counselor Simchek.
Present.
We also have Supervisor Mary Kim.
Welcome, everyone. Tonight, we're gonna start with a public hearing. Proposed law to override the tax levy established by the General Municipal Law 3C in Oneida. So can I get a motion?
Motion.
Second.
First up is D.
Everyone. I don't come here and speak often, so it's kind of a big deal. My name is Dee. I've lived in Oneida for 30 years. My husband and I own the current home we're in for about 8 years now. Over the past 6 years, my taxes have gone up about 14%. That's about a compounding rate of 2.25 a year, regardless of what happens to my income. So to me, this is not a one-year request. This is just an incremental increase for this year. I want to be direct about something else. I stood here a couple years ago and I addressed the council about the city's business environment appetite. I don't believe that the city is business friendly, and that is one of the contributing factors to the gap that the city keeps on trying to fill year after year. I know we've elected a new council, and really the mandate was run the city different, fund it different. It's not about just how you argue in this room, it's how you run the city. So in this day and age, I'm pretty sure you guys can find some way to generate income for the city without reaching into the citizens' pocket. I also think that you guys are aware that the city's population have been decreasing, I think since 2020, if I'm not mistaken. I might be off with the numbers, but I know it's been decreasing. So eventually, you're increasing the tax on a decreasing base. So next year, what is your ask going to be? This is not sustainable, it's not a long-term solution. So I am just here to ask, what have you guys looked at as far as generating income for the city and bridging that gap that you're not looking for the citizens, property tax or otherwise for? Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Jim Coulthard.
Hello, everybody. Jim Coulthard, 544 Broadway. I guess I am just sort of looking for information as to what the purpose is behind this. Typically, when I sit on the council, there was a motion made if the budget had to exceed the tax cap, that the council approved that, and if we needed to use that amount of money that was overage, then we were allowed to do that, but chances are we were able to rein in the cost. I guess the question I have, and whoever is the best informed upon this tax levy change, is this something in anticipation of a reassessment? Is this something that is, I mean, I guess I don't know why it's now as opposed to budget time in the fall. So if somebody can enlighten me, that's really what I want to ask. And I'll sit back down and hear the answer.
I'm happy to field the question for you, at least the tax cap portion of it. So New York State sets a statutory tax cap for your rate every single year.
Yes.
And it fluctuates every year roughly. It usually hovers around 2.5%, give or take. So what they say is this is your tax rate that you can't go over because we think that every municipality should stick within that 2.5% margin. So in order to get around that, municipalities, if they do want to tax more than 2.5%, they have to do the local law to override that tax cap. So we have to override New York State. And technically it's not budget season yet, but this is a 3-part series, right? So public law, introduce it, vote on it, enter it. vote out for the public hearing, we close it, and then the next meeting, we actually vote on the law itself. So it's a 3-step process over 3 meetings, roughly a 6-week period, again, give or take. But that's why we're doing it so early. As we look at the budget numbers and we start to develop some of the preliminary budget stuff, it's always helpful to know, do I have to stay underneath that 2.5%, or is the council giving me authority to go over the 2.5%? It's simply an administrative, it's an ask to say, where does the council like to go with their preference for this tax rate? So it's administrative, it's a little bit of bookkeeping. A lot of municipalities do it every year just as a matter of bookkeeping. I understand that it was a bit contentious in the past year, so there may have been a different, take on it, but that's why we're bringing it up now. Essentially, is just to work through the motions, the 3-meeting rule, and then to see what the desire of the council is.
That's an answer. Okay.
I can't talk to the reassessment. I leave it open to anyone else to.
We haven't approved a reassessment, as far as I know. I haven't voted on that. No reassessment coming.
Yeah, last time I know it was done was 2014, so.
The problem is, the councils before us did not approve this and could not go over the tax cap. And that's what really hurt us, especially last year when they had to pull out $1.3 million out of the general fund to balance the budget, because we have to balance our budget. So we're really concerned on how we're gonna balance our budget this year. We have talked a lot about ways to increase revenue versus the taxes. I'm not one for tax increases either, but the same token is we also have to balance our budget. So it's a fine line between that.
Well, thank you for your input.
All right, everyone, we're gonna move right on to public comment. Actually, we need to close that. Sorry.
Motion.
Janet just made this.
Second.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, any no's, any abstentions? Okay, let's open the public comment. And the first person we have, do we need a motion on that?
No.
No, Brian Bortry, come on.
The last council had a problem with leaking from the executive session. And I don't know where that stands. I sent an email to everybody and didn't get a reply except from Kyle. But my understanding is there was a leak in the May executive meeting as well. And it was admitted to. And there's nothing been done. Are we gonna allow our councilmen and women to leak to anybody they want from an executive session? That's against the law. And I think the way it was explained to me, it really wasn't an executive session, but on record it is. And that councilman, I feel, and this is just my opinion, should be censured by you guys. You have to police yourselves. So that's what I'm up here for tonight. And if somebody can explain to me whether it was an executive meeting or wasn't, and if it wasn't an executive meeting, then you violated the open meeting law. So you guys need to take care of each other. You have to police each other. Thank you.
May I just address that last part?
Sure.
I know we don't typically respond. So there's executive session under the open meetings law, but any legislative body, anybody at all, whether they're legislative like a planning commission, they can always meet for purposes of advice of counsel. It's not labeled executive session under the open meetings law, but you meet in private executive session for purposes of advice of counsel. Is that clear? Not really.
Is that gonna be, but it was an executive session, correct?
That's how people usually refer to it, and it's for purposes of legal advice, meaning that there's not gonna be an action taken afterwards, and it's also not one of those enumerated reasons for executive sessions as the open meetings contemplates, the open meetings law. But you're always allowed to meet in private for advice of counsel purposes.
Well, it doesn't look good, somebody leaking anything out of a private meeting, so.
I'm not addressing it all, I'm just
I
addressing
understand what you're saying.
that
Right.
distinction.
You guys have gotta get control here. You said you were gonna be transparent about everything, and I haven't seen any transparency, so, you know, you need to do something. Thanks.
Thank you. I think that's it for public comment. Do we have any old business from council?
I have a couple things with this,
Yeah.
all right? 607 Stone Street, the nuisance house. How many police calls have we had this past month there? Chief Lowe there, probably too many to count.
I don't have that number right off the top of my head. I did, at the request of the city manager, pull calls for service over the last 2 years.
May I?
Yes, you may.
So this is actually something we are looking at right now. The city manager circulated an email to myself, the chief, the other chief, codes, and wanted to find out, within the parameters of what a public nuisance is under that chapter, wanted us each to report. Each of the departments did that, and I have about 10 sheets of spreadsheets that I'm going through right now to see whether or not they, one, whether there's the public nuisance as defined, two, which of those we can act on. So we are actually doing it. So for what it's worth, the chief may not be able to stand before you right now and say what those are, but let me share with you, it's being looked at. Actually, it's in my briefcase.
Okay.
When I say there's like, these are the sheets that I'm going through right now.
All
So
right.
it is a recognized problem, and we are looking into it.
So it's a work in progress.
Yes, at least on our end. I'm not sure it's a work in progress on the property. I'm not sure, the property is progressing, I guess.
Okay.
Anyways.
All right, and then, I guess, a couple other things is, the bonding for the, Madison Street demolition and the plow truck, are we working on that also?
The plow truck, we don't have a clear answer about, but we do have demolition for the 3 properties. I do have a final answer for that one. I was gonna give it my updates for my remarks tonight, but.
Okay, all right, okay, cause I just wanna keep things going.
Yep.
I don't wanna talk about it and we're not doing
Yep.
anything, so,
Yep.
okay? And then where do we stand with the, inside-outside district? I know that's something you were working on too, or no, or what?
Yes.
Yes? Okay,
I don't have an answer for you on that one. I'm sorry, because it's complicated.
okay.
But I gotta get you an answer.
Well, I know, cause we got a budget coming up and we got a plan for all these things, so it just,
Right, but I think there's difficulties in how you just dissolve districts, especially with how yours are structured.
okay. Well, I, like I said, I wanna go forward on
Yeah, I
things.
gotcha.
Okay, so,
Let me make a note on that.
I think that's all I got.
I've got a couple. Kind of in the vein of budget season coming up, short-term rentals. I know we've spoken about that in one of the previous meetings about how can we move forward with that. Just want to see if any actions being taken. We're looking into how to do that.
So may I ask, short-term rentals, is it that you just want proposals on how, on what other municipalities have done to legislate them or regulate them? Is that what you would like? Or, and so that you can go through and say, these are the things that we are also interested in?
I think we wanted some sort of an action plan on how to put them into the city of Oneida. So if we're looking at.
Local law. It's a local law. So if you want short-term regulations, you would, I gotta make sure I set up high enough so people can see me. You would adopt a local law that allows you to regulate short-term rentals specifically. Within the context of that, typically you codify what it is that process would consist of, what the permitting process is, what the rules and regulations are that relate to that, who inspects what, so for example, and that may vary, depending upon, well, let me rephrase it. Things that they typically look at, parking. If you're gonna have a short-term rental, they want it to be inspected so they know how many people can, and our fire chief isn't here tonight, but how many people can legally occupy the property, right? They want fire plans, they want then, depending upon how many people can occupy the property, that's when they wanna know, okay, if you can have 10 people occupy the property, where's the parking for them? So that it's not in the yard, in the street, wherever else. They wanna know what your septic, if you're in the outside district versus inside district, do you have septic systems or wells that support that and it goes through there? They will have usually they have an annual permit where most municipalities like doing them all at the same time, and so they're not all staggered and it's easy to remember. For example, if it's a June 1 date, a lot of codes clerks then send their mass mailings out in May, reminders that these are going to be terminating June 1st or whatever, you understand what I'm saying. So all of that typically goes into that process. Some municipalities have it where their codes office has the authority to issue those permits once all the information's provided. Other municipalities say, no, we want that to go before our planning board or zoning board, whomever, and we want that to have a special use permit. In this city, it'd be a conditional use permit. And so there's different ways that they will handle that. They will also say that they have to be typical regulations. They have to be properties without any property violations. If you have violations, or if there are complaints from neighbors, you can have your permit pulled. What's that due process for having permits revoked if there are complaints or if there's concerns. So those are the things that your local law would take a look at. You'd codify that, and then you'd have that permit, and then you would also, as a council, decide what your permit fees are and whatever.
So what I was looking at, right, because I think when we brought this up is around raising revenues, is when it is rented, there is a fee, right, that would come back to the city. So
So our
not
county-
necessarily throwing a bunch more regulations in front of them.
The county has recently adopted regulations also for short-term rentals, and there is a fee structure, I believe, for those as well. I don't believe that trickles down to the municipalities, that fee.
I'm gonna go back and talk to our treasurer about it. She's actually working with Decker Technologies to set up software to do our, rental registry.
That must be very new. I'm assuming
Yeah,
from
it's
what
just
you've done.
off, just.
June.
Yeah.
In the middle of June, I think
Yeah.
that all just, yes, it's very, very new.
So all I can say is more to come, but I'm gonna talk to our treasurer about it.
But
Can we
most-
look at partnering?
That's what I'm saying, we do not need to duplicate
Right,
services, in my
right.
opinion.
So you're absolutely correct, and I have municipalities in Madison County who were looking at passing local laws and said, well, wait a minute, what the county's just done, we don't need, but maybe there's some ways that we need to supplement, is what our concern is. Most of the municipalities do not charge, as far as revenue, they don't usually get a fee each time it's rented. Usually it's the annual fee. And most short-term rentals are, if it can be more than 30 days per year, or they may fluctuate. But usually they don't do that, I think in part, because like what Mary's saying, there's a very complicated system,
Yeah.
software system.
Yep.
But how you regulate that becomes difficult as far as the administration on the back end. But it is something to absolutely think about.
And if we regulate it without collecting a bed tax,
Occupancy fee.
yeah, that's money going the other way.
And again, I wasn't looking at
No,
putting
no.
up more barriers in front of people
Yeah.
trying to.
Right, you were thinking bed tax,
Right.
occupancy fee, yes,
Correct.
okay.
I think some of these ideas, it's hard to just throw at Nadine without having a clear distinction of what we're kinda looking for. It's kinda, so maybe come to put together what you wanna see and everything, and then hand it
Sure.
over so we can move faster and not
Wax
pay for
on,
Nadine to
wax
do
off.
everything.
I think it's, we brought some of these up before.
Right.
Yeah, so,
So
no,
I
but
just wanna-
the
We still
short-term-
need
but the
some,
short-term,
just saying
give me
we
some
need short-term
feedback.
rentals is one thing, but
No.
putting the pieces together and saying this is the amount we wanna charge, how we wanna charge it,
Just let me know how you.
how do you wanna structure it?
If you give me the structure, I can figure out that, but whether or not, so are you saying, when you guys just said you don't wanna regulate further, you just would like the revenue, so you don't want short-term regulations?
I don't wanna make any decisions on behalf of the whole council.
No, I get that.
put that
I'm-
out there, I wanna
yeah, we're talking
discuss
about
anything with them.
I didn't mean to
But
imply that, but,
to Dave's point, we brought it up before, right, that this is an idea for bringing in additional revenue, so
Mhm.
if we gotta take additional steps as a council to discuss it, right, I'm all for that.
Yeah.
Okay, so in discussing this, is the council's interest in a flat fee that goes with a permit that's issued? Or is it more along the lines of the
Occupancy tax.
occupancy bed tax, whatever you wanna call it? And as part of that, is it that the council doesn't want regulations? Like, do what you want, we don't care, we just want the, and that's not, it's coming out harsher than it's meant to, but you understand what I'm trying to say. Is that the interest? What is it that you'd like ideally? And I don't care if I'm looking at you, just be sure.
Can I make
But
a
from
suggestion?
whoever.
I think one tool that's in our city charter that we're not utilizing is the use of committees who do the legwork on this. Not all of us, of course, because that wouldn't mean, but we don't use committees where I know a lot of municipalities do. Like Nate would maybe be the chair of that committee and get the information, present it to us, run it by Nadine and
No,
get input.
you're spot on. Like, for example,
Thanks.
right now, I have, in one municipality, they are looking at how they want to regulate battery energy storage systems. There is a committee on, this is what we want, and then once they've met, they've put things together, then they say, okay, maybe come join us, this is what we want. There's another one that is for, data processing centers. This is what we're looking at, Nadine, come and join us. So, yes, little subcommittees, special committees, are often tools for you to be able to gather information, kind of get an idea of what it is you'd like to see, and then let me know what it is you want so I can make it legal.
Because this isn't, we don't have time for all that here.
Well,
I think-
honestly, we get elected to do this, so that's where I get like, kinda like back and forth with committees, cause
Right.
we're just choosing people from the community to come do what
Well,
the public has.
Committee of the council.
Oh, committee of the council,
That's what-
absolutely,
that's
what-
absolutely, okay, I thought we were talking about outside committee.
No, just
no,
us.
no, no.
No, yeah, absolutely.
We should act, maybe at the end of a meeting, have a little work session. Because these things keep getting thrown to Nadine before we even discuss it, to figure out what we collectively want.
Right.
You know, we haven't, we keep bringing up, or you say we keep bringing up the inside-outside district. There's been no discussion to see even what direction we collectively
Wanna go?
go, yet we're expending legal expenses for what? To something we don't even know if we wanna do. The bed tax, they were going in one direction, and you were thinking a different thing, and we collectively haven't even talked about it. I know stuff gets tossed out in their in emails, but I like sitting and talking. So maybe we have a list and we have a couple things at the end of a meeting, we know, hey, we're gonna just have a quick little work session to talk about this, or this and this. Then once the seven of us have decided, we think this is what we want, then let's, get the opinion of legal, and then, yes, we need to set up a subcommittee of us or whatever, but right now, there's just ideas getting thrown out, we're spending a lot of money on legal, we don't even know what direction we're
And
going.
we're not getting much done.
Agreed.
Yeah.
So,
We gotta get
All right.
things done.
I would like a point of clarity from the council. What about the property accountability project that
That
Steve
Steve
directed us?
presented to us?
Yeah.
I think that's a great idea. I thought we all said that we should go forward with that. We said that last time.
I thought we voted on that.
Yeah, we did.
Or commented on that.
it was a straw poll,
And the majority
proceed
said
to,
yes.
proceed to the next level, he was gonna baby step.
So is that the same as what we're, cause I've heard occupancy tax, I've heard short-term rental law,
Oh,
now
no,
there's property
Airbnb,
accountability.
Airbnb would be the short term,
Right.
like, or a bed and breakfast or something like that, not apartments.
Right.
No, the thing that Steve did last meeting, I thought we agreed to move forward with that.
So we wanna do a property accountability and this tax?
Well, we're gonna form a committee and talk about this bed occupancy thing for short term,
Okay,
not the
so-
same as apartments.
So two separate issues altogether,
Yep.
Yes.
Right, yes,
two different taxes,
yes.
okay.
But yeah, I think work sessions, something, I agree, like, intercommittees that would work great. I think.
Can we start that tonight?
Oh,
Do we have,
we can make a motion to form a committee of the council, can we not?
well, we don't really
What do we,
need to. You
forming
just-
So
commissions
there's-
for?
So hold on, there's one it's appointed by the mayor and it doesn't need approval. There's two different committees, hold on a second.
Oh,
Or if you wanna keep talking about something else, we'll get back to it.
It's just the council talking, so
Right.
it shouldn't be.
I mean, we could knock out short-term rentals inside, outside, and residency requirements, just off the top of my head, just to make sure that everybody's in the same direction right before we expend any
Yeah.
more effort.
Right.
I think those are good ideas.
We can yay or nay pretty much and start moving forward with what
So let's do it now, or do it after, you get the
Where we
agenda
at?
done?
We're old business, I mean, it is what
Better
it
we
is.
do it under
Yeah.
new business, right?
You can't do it under new business.
New business,
Make a
old
motion.
business, same sort of deal.
Oh, yeah.
Fine, we'll do it
Yeah,
under
we'll
new
do it then.
business then. Okay.
Alright.
Oh, wait, I got it, just give me a second here.
Stall blowing
So
off.
committees, you have committees of the whole, special committees. The common council shall be constitute, okay, I'm sorry, I am not sounding very literate at the moment. Cause that's not well written. The common council shall constitute, I'm changing the verbiage, a committee of the whole. The common council shall not be organized with permanent standing committees. We're not suggesting that, so that's okay. The mayor may designate and appoint some members of the common council as a committee for any special purpose, which committee shall be disbanded upon the completion of its assignment, or at the end of its municipal year, whichever comes first. And you can reappoint. That you can just do, okay? The mayor may also designate and appoint, subject to approval of the common council, a special committee or committees consisting of other city officials and residents. So if it's just gonna be the council, you can just do it. And it doesn't need common council approval. So what you could do, if you wanna do it tonight, if there's interest in being participants in a particular committee, and you wanna let them know, you can just do it. Or if you wanna do it after the meeting, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like we
Whichever
should
the
get
pleasure
together
is.
some ideas to have what the committee would consist of.
Is there a limited number of councilors that can be in said committee meeting together?
I would,
Yeah,
I was gonna say,
quorum.
I would keep it odd, and I wouldn't do more than 3, just because then they become,
Quorum.
well,
You know, it's a gray area.
there's a quorum issue, and then also it may become much less effective when you get.
Nadine, you mentioned the committee of the whole, everybody can be there? Committee
Yeah,
of the whole.
you can, yes.
And that's before one of the meetings to get together?
It
and
doesn't
discuss?
matter when you do that, but it would need to be published and noticed.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Is that different than a special meeting that needs to be called by the mayor?
No,
Correct.
That's
it's the same
different.
thing.
Well, we gotta publicize that special meeting, right?
Special meetings, yes, if you're gonna have a meeting of the committees, it's a meeting, so.
But it has to go through the mayor to get approved first?
I would think if you have it right after a council
Yeah, we're
meeting,
here.
it just continues
Okay.
and it doesn't need to be publicized. If you're having a special meeting like you're having for the DRI next week, that has to be publicized and it has to be agenda and everything. Well, it has to, be a legal notice to go. So if you stay right after a meeting, the public can stay if they choose.
That's for committee as
Just
a whole.
committees.
But if it's
But
just
if you're not-
3
if
of
you
us,
don't have a
then we
quorum,
can
it
just
doesn't matter.
get
If you
together.
don't have a quorum, it doesn't matter.
But does it have to be open to the public, that committee meeting of the council?
It doesn't have to. A lot of times municipalities will just make an announcement, we're having a meeting of the committee, and if anybody in the public wants to attend, they're welcome to, but there's not an obligation one way or the other.
Alright, we're gonna move right into,
Can I just say, so the young lady was asking us other ways that we're trying to raise revenues. This is what we're trying to do, so that we don't have major, property tax increases. So we've been bouncing a lot of different ideas to do revenues, and that's what we're working on. Okay?
It's possible to have these committees open to the public. I think that would be a great idea. The city has a great population. I mean, there's so many variety of different expertise that can help with these committees, so. And if they don't show up, then it's on them, at least you've given them the opportunity.
Okay. Something to consider, for sure.
alright, let's move on to the meeting here. Mayor's remarks, I'm just gonna say, again, piggybacking off of Mr. Simchek last week, green waste is kinda on the back burner right now, it's paving season, so if your waste is out there, just bear with us, we'll get to it. The other thing is, Park Passport. This is the last week of Park Passport on Thursday. Keep tuned into the Parks and Rec page. They don't have the park it's at, but they will be having airtime inflatables, bringing their 96-foot obstacle course to the park. So check out their Facebook and stay cool on Thursday. Move it right over to the city manager.
All right, good evening, everyone. Several brief project updates, administrative updates this evening. First, we'll start with the good news. So I'm pleased to report the city staff recently identified approximately $290,000 in previously unused Urban Development Action Grant funds, funding that can be applied towards the city's upcoming demolition program. These funds are eligible to support the demolition of unsafe structures at 136, 138, and 210 Shenandoah. This represents considerably more than a one-time savings of $290,000. Had that amount been financed over a period of 15 to 20 years at approximately 4 to 5% interest rates, the city could have incurred an additional $100,000 to $175,000. Stated another way, the identification of these funds will allow the city to avoid approximately $390,000 to $465,000 of taxpayer funds in total principal and interest payments over the life of the borrowing. Depending upon the eventual borrowing term and interest rate, this could also remove approximately $21,000 to $28,000 in annual debt service obligation from future city budgets. These figures are necessarily estimates, since the actual savings would depend upon the financing structure and market conditions at the time of borrowing. However, it's important to note, again, that these are huge savings for our taxpayers when we find these. I want to recognize personally Steve Vonderwhite and Donna Ossier for their work researching the eligibility of these funds and working with the HUD office to maintain the direction for them from their federal counterparts. This is an excellent example of staff carefully examining the city's available resources and identifying a solution that produces both an immediate and long-term financial benefit for our taxpayers and residents. City engineer has also confirmed that the Abiscope's proposal for our demolition project is fully responsive and meets the required scope of work. Staff are now working through the remaining financial, contractual, environmental monitoring, and administrative steps necessary to advance this project. We also recently met with the city engineering team regarding the flood mitigation initiative. This is something that we've been working on for the last 12 months. That work is moving into a more detailed phase involving surveying, property access, potential easements, right-of-way, and the practical engineering steps necessary to determine an implementable project. Flood mitigation, I have to emphasize, is not simply something that we can undertake immediately and fix tomorrow. It takes a lot of time and planning and resources. It requires accurate engineering, cooperation from affected property owners, and a clear understanding of the legal and physical conditions along the proposed project area. That's something we absolutely have to know before we make any decisions going onto people's private property and doing any sort of work. I would also like to point out that the city has submitted an application for $200,000 to the New York Kicks grant program. Thank you, Councilor McHugh, for sending that email to us. Sincerely appreciate that. The funding would supplement the investment already being made through the Downtown Revitalization Initiative and support improvements to heavily used recreational facilities serving local families and AYSO participants. Something that I'm looking forward to, as my kids are in AYSO soccer as well. Administration has also completed a series of departmental budget workshops as we begin preparing for the 2027 budget. We're reviewing department requests, staffing, capital needs, user fees, contractual obligations, and the city's broader financial condition. This process will require difficult decisions. Our goal is to present the Common Council with a responsible and transparent budget that recognizes the services residents expect, while also addressing the financial pressures facing the city and its taxpayers. We're also continuing to provide oversight and coordination on the city's major DRI projects, including Hotel Oneida, Veterans Memorial Park, the Calet Theater, and remaining project allocations. I also want to briefly acknowledge that City Hall is aware of a video presentation being circulated by a member of Common Council concerning the Veterans Memorial Park project. This presentation contains a number of factual inaccuracies, incomplete statements, misleading characterizations regarding the project's history, funding scope, and development. The administration is currently evaluating the operational and organizational implications created by the circulation of inaccurate information concerning an active city project. Staff are also preparing a comprehensive factual update that will provide the public and the Common Council with the relevant project history, source documentation, funding information, and current status. I would also remind the public that no individual has unilateral authority over city operations or administration. The city manager, the mayor, individual members of the common council each have defined roles and responsibilities, but none may independently direct outside city resources or have the authority established unless it's specifically enumerated under the city charter and applicable law. City policy and legislative direction are established through the common council acting collectively, while the day-to-day administration of city government is carried out through the city manager and professional staff. One council member acting alone does not direct employees, manage projects, or speak for the city as an institution. A project update meeting is scheduled for August 11th, at which time the relevant records, project history, funding information, and current status will be reviewed in greater detail. Following that meeting, the administration will prepare and release a factual update for the common council and the public. Until that information is available, I would encourage strongly residents to consider the full record and rely upon the official city documentation and official city communication channels rather than isolated or incomplete representations. There is a great deal of important work occurring across the organization, and I want to thank our employees and our department heads for the tireless work that they do, day in and day out. Some of this is not big work, and a lot of it goes unrecognized, but I want to say to all of my folks that are out there tonight, and those for the record, thank you for all the work that you've done. I see you and I recognize you. And finally, once we provide the complete and accurate accounting for the projects, I look forward to the discussion and hope that we can finally set the record straight. Thank you very much.
Alright, let's move on to the approval of minutes for July 21st, 2026.
Motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Forgot the discussion part, but aye. Any noes, any abstentions?
Abstention.
Motion's passed. Any approval of warrant number 15?
Resolved that warrant number 15, including checks and ACH payments totaling $210,156.76, as audited by the Voucher Committee, is hereby approved for payment in the usual manner at the discretion of the comptroller. Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any noes, any abstentions? Motion's passed. I'll now turn the meeting over to our city clerk, Sandy, with that.
Due process hearings, designate common council as due process hearing officers for the due process hearings for termination of water service scheduled for August 18th, 2026.
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Got a lot of new people, it's gonna be interesting, it's always interesting, the first one, so. All in favor?
Aye.
Any noes, any abstentions? Motion's passed.
Item number 2, agreement, authorize the city manager to execute any and all agreements necessary to provide contracted police services to Madison, Oneida, BOCES through the assignment of a school resource officer.
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion?
Oh, yeah. I have a quick question. Chief, I need you. I have questions. I don't think, I was here at the meeting when we discussed it in April, so I have questions. So, as requested, I saved my questions for here. So, is it accurate? So OPD has been called, is this for North Broad? This is for the North Broad building?
It's for the site at North Broad, which
Yeah.
is under contract by Madison United BOCES.
Right, and they have a 10-year lease that started in 2024, so they have a few years left on that. Is there a reason that the contract is only 3 years when they still have 7 years left?
That's a legal thing between districts and how their funding goes. We can only sign a 1-year agreement by technicality. but
Well, this is
we want-
3. This contract is 3 that you gave us.
Right,
Right,
with an
okay.
opt-out clause, which is also required. That's the reason.
Okay, cool.
It has to do with school districts, and so this agreement, let me just start by the agreement and language, has been reviewed both by the city's labor attorney, who's well-versed in school district stuff, as his other role, and then also the BOCES side of the house has also redlined it, and this is a mutual agreement between BOCES and the city.
Okay. So is it, OPD's been called there somewhat regularly to assist with student matters, is that accurate?
Yes.
So what sort of calls are you getting that you have to go over for? Are you able to?
Well, so we go for out of control children. We go for children that have eloped. So the program over there is a behavioral program, which I think was discussed previously. So those are the type of calls that we go over there for. So having an officer on site, so part of the school resource officer program is to establish a good community program between juveniles or kids and the police department locally. This BOCES program is kind of unique in that this program supports about 12 different school districts. It's the Madison Oneida BOCES program, which is funding this position. So that's one. So one is community relations. Two, having an officer with on scene and present helps to mitigate any response that might be called in via 911 call or a suspicious condition. If somebody passing by, and we've had this happen, sees a young person walking down the street being pursued by 3 unknown adults, that reasonably causes alarm, and then the cavalry responds to a possible abduction or kidnapping in progress, which is not the case. So those are just a sampling of the calls that we respond to. You know, a number of physical things, and from BOCES staff specifically, they notice because they have school resource officers at their Spring Road campus in Oneida County, they notice a tremendous impact when the SRO is present, and behavioral issues seem to have declined, and that's direct from the BOCES staff. So we're hoping to, 1, de-escalate situations by having an officer present, 2, provide security, and 3, support community relations, not just with one of the city community members, but across those 12 districts abroad.
Is there a chance that you guys will be displaced from the North Broad building and put someplace else within the BOCES world, within their campuses? Because I know the contract wasn't specific to a building, but could they theoretically say, thank you for being at BOCES or at North Broad this year, we'd like you to come over to Verona now? Can they do that? So I didn't see language.
No, they can't.
Oh, they can't,
And
okay.
so it is specifically mentioned in there.
Is that okay, I missed out? Okay.
Yep, if you go to general terms and conditions,
Okay.
there's mutual agreed upon scheduling and assignment for the police department. So it's still a police officer assigned to the United States Police Department, jurisdiction, responsibility, state of New York, state of Oneida. And it's in coordination with the BOCES program. The only thing BOCES is doing is paying us back for staffing a police officer there.
Yeah, I guess I spent 1.5 years working in the school district in the mental health behavioral capacity, and we had, you know, I was at Durnville, we had SPO there, Randy was there, a great guy, and
yeah, I think I remember you saying that when we talked about it.
Yeah, and so I remember the conversation about like how SROs get involved, when they get involved, and there is a tendency in different academic environments when kids are having pretty significant behavioral issues or concerns to bring in someone with law enforcement, like, you know, to kind of regulate it. But they also should have their own behavioral specialists and their social workers on staff as well. I just want to make sure that like we're not getting called to do something that they should be handling in-house sometimes, because I know that can happen. Now, I'm not saying it is happening or it always happens. I just want to make sure that we're not getting caught in that, if that makes sense. Because what I know, OPD, you guys are amazing and you are so much to so many people. And I don't want to, you know, I don't want to see with really well intentions getting pulled out of, you know what I mean, to be helped. You know what I mean?
Is there a question in there?
Oh, sorry. Okay, I'll back up. No worries. That's fair. Okay. So the officer has to have 40 hours of specialized SRO training. How much does that cost, and will that come from your existing training budget or require a budget transfer?
That will be covered by existing training funds.
Okay. Very good. Okay, now, sorry, I have a page. Do you anticipate that you'll be needing to make a future request to add a position to the department, or can you meet this need with your existing resources?
This is funding a position, and we will hire somebody to backfill.
Funding a position, we will be hiring okay, so it's a new position?
No.
No.
It's being filled with an existing officer at top of grade,
Okay.
which is the most expensive position, because they're a top out senior
Mhm.
officer based on the experience needed for the position.
Mhm.
And what the city is getting is a brand new police officer
Okay.
at a lesser cost.
Okay. The hourly rate that they are, the maximum accounts for fringe benefits and other labor expenses, right? It's all included in that? Okay. Okay, thank you, those are my questions. No, I have one more, sorry. So school's in session 180 days a year, and the students are currently there from 7:30 to 1:30 PM, so that's when the students are bused there. So that kind of makes it a 6-hour workday. What do you anticipate the schedule being for this officer during the school year, since it is kind of a shortened, what do you anticipate that looking like?
I anticipate it looking like a mutually agreed upon schedule with BOCES per academic school day.
Okay.
Because staff is there beyond what the students are there for. There are other times and functions that the SRO need to be present. SRO needs to provide and do training, specific to BOCES regulations and what they require. Again, this is a mutual holistic approach to provide a good community service.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for answering my questions.
I've got one question, just follow up. So we're hiring a new person, senior officer is going over there, right? It's a good thing. At the end of the 3 years, do we plan on that senior officer retiring, or are we gonna be, that position then gets folded back into the police force plus one
Even though
account?
even though the agreement is good for 3 years, doesn't mean we can't do it.
Okay, so we
It's not a hard and fast sunset clause at 3 years.
Right, but should it, you would increase your head count, right? You're not gonna lay
I
some.
don't understand what you're saying.
So you're adding a new position to backfill for this person.
It's probably covered through attrition though.
Right.
But that's, okay.
That's kind of, it would almost be a consultation.
We're usually looking for people anyways, it wouldn't be a problem.
We haven't been at, I can say right now we're at full staff for the next 15 days until I have a retirement.
Gotcha.
So, and then in the next 3 to 5 years, there are more retirements, so that's what the council is getting at, is that it shouldn't be a problem. It should the contract end to
Gotcha.
absorb the position into the fold. If council decides not to fund extra positions in future, and however that looks in the budget process. in the
That makes sense.
Next 3 years.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Chief while he's standing?
I just throw my 2 cents in there. I've talked to some of the teachers over there and I've got nothing but compliments from the times they have been over there and the things.
They're great.
And I know that they don't like to call them. They pride themselves on being able to handle it themselves. There are times where they have to, but when they have, they've reached out to tell me what a great job they did and how thankful they were to have them over there, so.
Alright. All in favor?
Aye.
Any noes, any abstentions?
Unfortunately for me, as it's written, it's a no.
Motion is passed.
Item number 3, budget transfers and amendments. Approve the budget transfers and amendments as outlined by the comptroller or third party duly retained by the city of Oneida to perform such studies.
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion?
I'm not really for budget transfers out of the general fund at this time, so I have a real problem voting for this, to tell you the truth.
I have some questions, and I don't know if the answers are available right now. So now is a great time to stock up on diesel. You probably could speak to this, Tom. Seasonally, the prices are low in the summer. Gas, on the other hand, we're probably at the peak with the summer blend. This is wholesale cost, which I'm assuming we get at wholesale. The summer blend is still in the tanks, demand is up, and we've got the Middle East thing going on. And my question is, not how much we have left in the budget line, because that we have, how much is left in the tanks right now? Because now might not be a great time to stock up for the rest of the year, definitely for gasoline.
Those tanks get topped off like once a week or once every other week. We're paying state rate all the time, so it's not like we're buying this and it's just gonna sit in somewhere.
Well, okay, great, that's good news. I had another question. So, and I know gas prices are high this year. Well, were they impacted by Iran and the Middle East then, or no? Must not be.
The gas prices for,
The state rate?
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
Yep.
Okay, because here's my question. So as far as the budget line use for central fuel, in '24, the use was $172,000. Next year, $128,000. And this year, the department asked for 270,000, almost double what they used last year. And granted, the prices are higher, although I don't think when budget time was in last year, they anticipated a war. So I'm just wondering, why did they ask for almost double and then only got 142%? So do we well, they're topped off every week, so we're not stocking up. Yeah.
Kyle, can I chime in real
Yep,
quick?
absolutely.
The tanks aren't very big.
Okay.
They don't have the capacity. I was just talking to the assistant chief. Diesel and gasoline tanks, they're not very big.
Okay.
So they don't have the capacity to hold surplus amounts of fuel, which is, I believe, this refueling scheduling cycle that they're on. Also, there was some issue with one.
Yes, one, it's never been.
One of the tanks has never been repaired, so it's, might contribute to the fuel scheduling cycle.
So there's a leak?
Not a leak.
No,
it's-
but it's needs to be
They
replaced.
have a temporary tank.
So is it not in use?
It's in use.
It's a temporary tank, so the capacity is not what you would expect, so it needs to be refueled more often. So a lot of considerations into the fuel reschedule, the fuel costs as we go.
So
I know, and I can only speak to this because we need gas quite frequently. so
Sure.
We're impacted probably the most, and when we run out of fuel, we have to go get fuel and go to Cheryl and get fuel, which we have to then pay the Cheryl rate. So,
Is theirs higher?
I have no idea.
Oh.
They give us a bill.
Sure it's higher than ours.
So, we had, a few years ago, we had one of our tanks completely go offline. We were looking at about $100,000 plus to replace the tank. The tank we have is actually owned by the fuel supplier. We don't pay rent. It's free of charge sitting there. It is a smaller tank, but it saves us $100,000 not replacing it. So they own the tank, they set it there, they're filling it at state rate. And likely when the other tank completely goes, we'll probably do the same thing. Cause there again, it saves us $100,000 or more for tank replacement.
I remember the nightmare, we looked into fuel cards and all that stuff
Oh, yeah.
too, or other options, if there was a better way to do it, we
And to have
explored that for a long time.
Putting
enough,
stuff on trailers and bringing it to gas stations.
Right.
Yeah, we,
to have enough fuel on hand for the entire year, you'd be looking at, kinda like the tank farms have, those massive holding tanks. That's huge liabilities.
So capacity, that's irrelevant in this discussion, it's strictly about the money and how much was budgeted and how fast we went through it, correct?
I guess fair to say.
Yeah, so, the last report we got, which was, the comptroller's report in July, 13% of the budget for diesel was left and 26% of the budget for gas was left.
Definitely went up this year.
Usage?
Well, no,
Price.
Oh.
Price.
I wanna say our usage has increased actually with the wastewater treatment plant upgrades we did over there. They're using more diesel, more fuel. However, I wanna make sure I'm saying the accurate, correct thing. I've heard this, but I can't verify it for sure. So if there is an increase in the usage, I've been told that, and I offer that up as just something that I've heard as explanation. However, I will absolutely run it down and confirm that to figure out if that's the case and why that's running higher.
And is any of that offset by the functions that we are, the services we're providing with the upgrades there? As part of like the processing and the solids, by the solids, is that what you mean?
Not offset necessarily, it's not the way that, we design the financial arrangement, but you had to do these upgrades to the plant simply because of DEC compliance orders and consent orders. And from that, you doing the upgrades, you're naturally gonna have a better system with more capability. So in that way, yes, you're providing more of a value to residents in that sense, but unfortunately, that also creates more equipment and more complicated equipment, so they use, again, I've been told this, but I can't verify it, that it uses more diesel and gasoline because of that.
And you can see that we cut that down pretty good last year too, out of the budget, so they did ask for over 200 and we cut it almost.
Which that $270,000 amount is way out of line with
Right.
anything we previously used.
Also why it got cut.
Yeah.
Did, you know, I'm just thinking of other municipalities, the winter was pretty bad. I'm thinking of.
We ran out, I think, of salt
Oh,
last year.
yeah.
Well, so with salt and overtime for your DPW was over, I would imagine the trucks used more. I have no idea, I'm just thinking as I'm
Yeah.
sitting here, I don't know if that would have contributed to increased usage as well.
That would be great data to have when we're talking about taking more money out of the general fund, which I don't wanna do, I'm not alone. But I would say, maybe a suggestion going forward, when we're gonna have a budget transfer out of the general fund, we need a lot of data so that we can have an informed decision, because, again, general fund stabilization should be top of mind across the board, and, we're not doing it yet.
Still need to function though as a city.
Yep, yeah, for sure.
So when we do budget low for items, we do need money to still sustain our services and whatnot, so. Any other discussion? We're still on 3, right? All in favor?
Aye.
Any noes? Any abstentions?
No.
What do you got?
Roll call.
Roll call. Counselor McHugh?
No.
Counselor Kimpe?
No.
Counselor Smith?
No.
Counselor Jones?
No,
Counselor Pagano?
Yes.
Counselor Simchick?
Yes.
Motion failed.
So what do we do? when we
So,
go
yeah,
out
what do
to
we
bid?
do when we don't have any money to run the city, if we can't, move things from the budget,
If the police cars.
some of the
Right.
funds have balances, which I believe you can transfer within the balance, they don't have, it doesn't have to come out of the general fund. There are places where money can come from aside from that, if I'm correct.
You can pull.
No,
Yeah.
It's still budget transfer.
Those are budgeted lines though.
Oh, no,
for
that's a
specific
separate-
amounts and for specific action items.
Yeah, that's a
General fund is
separate,
for-
Transfer that.
yeah,
So unexpected expenditures, right, so that's why we go to the general fund, because we say, hey, this is not a budgeted item, we don't have any money left anywhere else, we're allocated everywhere. So if what we're saying is we're not gonna transfer the general fund, and what you're asking is we have to slash from other budget lines, those are already appropriated line items.
correct.
So if we have to cancel those appropriated line items, that means we're cutting services. to
And then you're gonna have to
reallocate.
come back to the general fund anyway after those services need their money that they've just gotten taken from.
There's gotta be lines out there that's not gonna be used this year that we could pull from.
Oh, wow.
I'm just saying,
Wow.
it's gotta be, I would hope so. I don't know, I mean, I didn't,
Our budget was
I didn't do the
gutted,
budget last
it was
time.
gutted, Dave.
I know you
It
did
was
terrible,
gutted.
I know it was terrible, I know.
There's like nothing left in it, I mean,
I understand, it was a very difficult budget, I understand.
I mean, we're seeing that now when we're having to transfer
Oh.
how many times out of the general fund to cover things that were cut, right?
Right.
But their question, I think, was what do we do when we run out of gas?
How about,
That's the
maybe you
question.
could look at it, Kyle, to see if you can come up with a different, any lines out there you can take from? If there's any savings there, come
Okay.
back to us the next meeting, and then present that to us, and then we can make another decision at that time.
But we don't know
That's what
year
we
to
did.
date until the end of the year,
I-
what gets used out of those lines.
Sometimes, I don't know,
So just, the question still is what do we do when they run out of gas?
they're not gonna run out of gas right now,
Non-essential
are they?
services,
Are they gonna run out of gas right now?
What's not essential service?
those need to be identified.
I mean, do we have enough fuel to keep the city running without doing this?
Is there enough there right now to run for a few more weeks? I don't know, is there?
Well,
It's a little late to ask that now.
is-
We're all in
Jan
the-
pointed, yeah,
That was a good before the vote question.
That budget line, as of July 31st, there was $21,000 left in the gasoline line and a little over 6,000 in the diesel line. So yes, we're not gonna run out of gas this week.
6,000.
I mean, we don't have another council meeting.
No, but it's 2 weeks till the next
In
meeting.
2 weeks,
Yeah.
are we gonna have enough fuel to keep the city going until then?
And then what?
I mean, I agree with you, not
Hold on,
taking
hold on.
another
Is this
council.
public comment? Yeah, we can't talk from the,
Is this
we
public
can't talk.
comment?
I got it, thank you. Again,
We have a meeting next week, correct? Next
No.
Tuesday?
we do, but if you're
That's
gonna
not
keep
for
not
this.
accepting budget transfers, then it doesn't matter if we have 100 meetings till the end of the year.
I I mean, not for nothing, this has been on the agenda since Thursday. How come nobody reached out to me and said anything? And the city's at a standstill right now, and not one of you
So,
said one word.
to be honest with you, it's hard too, because a lot of you guys didn't touch the budget. The only people that voted yes are the people that touched the budget last year. So in my opinion, we understand what's going on.
I'm just saying there must be something else we could do. It's like almost insulting, like that's not what we spent all of last year working on. If there was something else in there, I promise you, we would have tried. It's not like we were like, what about that money? Yeah, we'll worry about that one next year. We went over this for days at a time.
Well, the general
I'm
fund
looking
is for
forward to budget
emergencies.
season, so we
Oh,
can
I'm sorry.
go
Yes.
through this whole thing together.
I'll look at the lines, Dave. I'll look at the lines. I'll work with Leanne. I'll come back with something. See if we can-
That's fair.
Yes.
Yeah, that's great.
And can we find out how long until we run out of gas? Like that?
I kinda have to.
$6,000 for diesel.
Well, how much did we allot for the year? 140? So we're down to 20.
142.
So we're down to 26 in 8 months.
26 plus 32.
So
is what's the
we got
balance
about 2.5 months.
Yeah, where's the?
It's a good, like, I understand why you don't wanna take anything out of general fund, but at the same time, we have to operate as a city.
Right, and perhaps maybe even department heads could identify budget lines where they have an excess money, or it's a non-essential expense that they can make available.
If they do that, we'll cut it out
That's
at budget season. That's the thing, is if they identify something that they don't use, we're going to cut it out during.
As we
business
should.
season. So, like,
As we should.
So they're not going, that's not gonna be a thing.
Oh, then it's, I think as a council, we're giving the direction, and we don't have intimate knowledge of the budget
The thing
lines.
is, you guys have never done a budget.
This is a typical
Right.
case of, we didn't
Yeah.
give them enough money to operate
Mhm.
what
Correct.
they have to have.
Right.
Because we
Right.
don't wanna raise
Because-
taxes, it's a
Yes.
big juggle.
This is what happens when you don't give them enough money to give the services.
Oh, sure.
Is they have to come back,
Mhm.
and this is where we are.
And I think we have to look at our services, and we may need to figure out how to provide our services in a different way. I don't know what that looks like, but something may, because we need a longer term plan.
Yeah, like I said, I'm looking forward to budget season, so we can all kinda get on
Yeah.
the same page and see what money we're working with and what we can and can't use and, yeah. But that's already passed, or not passed, so let's move on to new business.
Oh, I have something. Resident of Ward 4 asked me to bring this to the council, to discuss it, consider it, and perhaps have a city attorney review it. I did give you a heads up. So they're asking us to amend the juvenile curfew, extending the age from 16 to 18, and extending the hours from 10 PM to 6 AM. And they gave various examples of why this would be a good idea: vandalism, misconduct among the juveniles, and their exposure and greater risk possibly of becoming victims of crime, exploitation, or violence. And as I said, I forwarded it to Nadine because I wanted to give her a heads up on what that would entail, what it would look like, so that we could have a better idea as a council to discuss it.
So, my question would be, if Nadine looks into that and it goes over, are we gonna approve paying Nadine if we have to pull from the general fund to pay her if she goes over for the year? Cause I don't know if I wanna have, should we look into this cause I don't know, that's a fair question.
That budget line.
Cause I would guess on my experience that we've had some of these people working a lot harder than any council I've ever been on, so whatever we budgeted.
We might wanna start with discussion or maybe a special committee before we kick to Nadine, as she described the process earlier.
So here's my only comment with the 18. Typically in New York State, minors are under 18. So I don't think I would go to 18 exactly.
17's fuzzy even, isn't it? From
It
like a pins
is.
diversion
It-
standpoint, 17's fuzzy.
It is, and so
Oh,
that's
yeah.
why most laws relating to minors say 16.
Okay.
The 16 is pretty universal,
Okay,
just for what that's worth.
sure.
Whether you wanna change the times, whether you wanna try to capture the 17-year-old, I don't know, but just
And I think it would also be of value, Chief Lowell, enforcing the current curfew and what it might look like if we did maybe go to 17.
Sure, just a historical preference on that, or reference, excuse me. There was a court case, City of Rochester had a similar statute on the books, and that statute was declared unconstitutional. It had to do with taking the freedom away, right, seizing individuals under the age of 16 for a local law violation. There was conduct there, and happy to have any comment by the city attorney on this, if you're familiar with that statute at all.
The specific Rochester statute.
No, the case in general, the case in general.
Yeah, I'm familiar with it.
Oh, thank you.
In the
Okay.
world of policy, it's kind of, infamous. It's a terrible piece of policy, but, yeah, it's unconstitutional, got challenged in court. The current mayor of Rochester, Malik Evans, is trying again to push it through with different language this time. And again, that's not to say that you can't absolutely do as you will. I just throw that out there as a piece of information, right? They have suggested the same thing. They've had some serious struggles with it. I would say probably a Google of Rochester curfew laws is probably leads you down a rabbit hole is what happened in the whole rigmarole. So it's worth an exploration if you're interested in it. I would say at least look at what happened to Rochester and what they went through in New York City.
I think if there's a question on whether or not what we have is really being enforced, perhaps while you consider whether you wanna make any changes, if there's an increased effort in enforcement, to see whether that has any impact on what your resident or your constituents experiencing. You know what I mean? Like if there's improvements, then perhaps that distinction is negligible.
Okay.
But something to think about. Like I'm looking at.
My biggest thing is enforcement. I think our police department already has enough on their plate as it is to go around and get juveniles that are out past curfew there.
That alone, would be a big question mark, whether or not it's a curfew violation, but if there's other conduct, disorderly conduct, vandalism, theft, certainly we encourage everybody to dial 911 if they see something, say something. Can't be in all spots at once, we're not omnipresent. Call 911 if they see something going on specifically, and when it's happening, don't sit on it, and be a good witness. Descriptions, location, direction of travel, and stay on the phone with 911, that's always great. That would be my immediate recommendation. But Councilor Kimpy, you're 100% correct, our stats are, I got the numbers off the presses, so if you want to hear them, I'll rattle them off.
Well, and I think if you look at like the resident email said, the concern really, I don't think anybody really cares about the 17 or 16-year-old that's walking down the street and doing nothing wrong. That nobody cares, I think, essentially about that. I think the real issue is the egg throwing, the vandalism, and so, which is a criminal act anyway. So I think that's the focus, or should be the focus perhaps, but.
The other thing is, local law gets, for juvenile, you go to youth court, okay, and that's a completely voluntary program. So the other thing to consider is the teeth behind any statute you roll out. New York State has raised the age, reducing the age of criminal liability, or increasing the age of criminal liability. So it's a very complex system for 16 and 17-year-olds, 15, 16, 17-year-olds.
Councilor McKee was getting at.
And Finn's diversion has pretty much disappeared. It's mostly a voluntary, and it's important for families that want that service, but sometimes the kids that are out doing these things are not coming from the homes that would be receptive to the service anyway, and there's really nowhere for it to go. To even get a kid on a PINS nowadays, it's really, really challenging. There are no more residential placements, and I've never heard the JD system looks like for juvenile JD now. I don't even know what that looks like, so.
Well, there's currently no beds in Madison County.
Truth. Where would you even send them? I mean, geez, if you,
Not here,
right,
and it's very difficult.
Right,
And then we pay
absolutely.
overtime to sit on juveniles,
Yeah.
I mean, theoretically speaking.
Totally.
We don't sign.
Yeah. Well, thanks. I said I would bring it up, and thank you for the discussion.
It is a good idea, though. We don't need to have, a good way to keep, if we could use it, it would be a good way to keep them off the street a little bit. Well, some of them at least. Bob, I see you got your hand up. What?
First of all, I'd like to apologize to the council for the outburst.
You're fine.
I know better.
It's okay.
I apologize, Mayor, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
And second of all, I agree with Ms. Jones, we do need to do something about the juveniles hanging out all over, not only on Madison Street, all over the city. I see kids out 12, 13 years old, 3 o'clock in the morning.
What are you doing out at?
I'm single, I can be out any time. Thank you. Just because I'm old, I don't mean
Don't
I need to
answer
go
that,
back.
don't answer that.
But if this is a repeat occurrence, can we do something to the parents? Put a fine on them or something?
We could look at the existing law we have in place and see what we can do with
Thank you.
that. Yeah, absolutely. All
Think
right,
I'm about 8 o'clock.
new business, Nate, let's go through some of your list, and see whether we wanna move forward, whether we don't, just to get some sort of clarity. You know what I mean, moving forward. Whatever you wanna go first, or whatever you wanna talk about.
Sure, how about, inside and outside tax district? I think that was first up on the list. So that
Is this to
one.
create the committee?
This is just to like move forward with this.
I think we need to put together a list of what we need to
What
look
the
at.
council actually wants, because
Right,
some
what the
people want this,
That's
some
what I'm
people
saying
want
is the
that.
question, okay, but, yeah, I think you gotta.
Combined in
Well,
here.
no, I think the question is fundamentally, is there interest in even exploring it? If there
Right.
is, then just create the committee. I
Right.
don't think it's even as deep as what do we wanna do with it, because I think it's more
Correct.
come back.
I just think, yeah.
No, I'm
Right?
same
Yep,
page,
yep.
same page.
Yep.
Just to see if the council even wants to move
Move
forward.
forward with it, and then we can work
Should
through
we
the
do like a roll
details.
call vote of who wants to move forward on
We
each
can,
item?
you can raise your hand, whatever you guys wanna do.
Counselor McHugh?
I wanna explain why though, because, because
No explanation.
Okay, no thank you on the inner outer, sorry, thank you.
Okay. Yes.
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 Well, hold on. Counselor Kimpy?
Yes.
Counselor Smith?
Yes.
Counselor Jones?
Yes.
Counselor Pagano?
No.
Counselor Simchek?
No.
Tiebreaker.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
So you got, now, do you wanna create your committee right now? And I'm just asking, do you wanna put on the committee those for and against, so that it's.
Oh, absolutely,
Yeah.
it's definitely gotta be a mix.
Well, you point it, but.
Oh, jeez.
Do you want
Who
us
would
to
like,
volunteer?
there
who would
were
like to
some who
do
were
some
going
of
to
that
volunteer.
research?
Oh,
I mean, yeah, I mean,
Let Tom.
I'm retired.
Say Tom.
I got all the time in the
So-
world.
let's go Tom, Janet, and who else?
Wait, are you guys yeses or nos? Do you need to know first?
Those are both yes and a no,
Oh, geez, okay.
so it doesn't really matter, I guess.
I'll be the third.
Nate is the third.
So it's Tom, Janet, and Nate.
Yep, inside, outside district, so, committee.
You want this paper?
Can we do one more committee while we're at it?
No, we're gonna go.
We're gonna-
Oh, okay.
If you have something you wanna talk about, please
Right.
bring it up, we'll.
I'll wait
we'll
till
discuss.
Vote on
next
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So the other, I guess, residency, maybe go down, roll call on
Oh, yeah.
residency.
Oh, on the
Which
residency?
Yes,
The.
city residency.
What exactly are we,
Oh,
Is there
I
any?
don't have enough to know if I'm for it or against it, I just want more information.
Okay, so
That's why we're
three
making it.
yes
That's
or
why
no?
we're making, I would like
Okay.
some more information, cause some really good questions and points have been brought up, and I just want to know answers. Yes.
Okay, so city residency, yes or no?
Yes on exploring further.
No.
Yes.
Hold on, let her.
Somebody can sit up here. Okay, so Counselor Kimpy's no, Counselor Smith,
Yes.
Counselor Jones,
I think I'm no.
Counselor Pagano,
I'm a no.
Counselor Simchek,
no.
Counselor Rossi, Mayor Rossi.
I'm a no.
So that one did not pass, so no committee.
So this is effective.
Yes.
Like it?
It's better than just
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
having a
Yeah,
blanket
great.
conversation that
So then
doesn't
we
get
can
anywhere.
Way better than
concentrate
email.
on specific items.
Exactly.
Yes.
Okay,
Alright, what do you wanna?
Short-term rentals, right?
yes.
I'm sorry, am I still? I
No,
know
no,
I'm
you're
still-
good.
But I'm just.
Let's keep moving, yeah.
Short-term rentals,
Oh, yeah, sure.
Counselor McHugh?
Yes.
Sure. Counselor Kimpy?
yes.
Counselor Smith?
Yes.
This feels like Christmas.
Counselor Jones?
Yes.
Counselor Pagano?
No.
Counselor Simchek?
Yes.
Counselor Rossi, Mayor Rossi.
Yes.
That one is a,
Alright.
Just said no, then I have to pick me.
Right. That's why I'm looking at you, though.
Chest on checkers here.
Do you wanna do
I do
the
wanna
other
do it,
three council people for that one?
Whatever you wanna choose.
Lynn, Bill, and Dave? Or no?
I don't know.
That's fine.
Alright, so yeah, Bill, Dave, Bill, myself, and Lynn. Is that good?
Sure. That works for me.
Alright, sounds good.
That's the short-term rental.
Okay.
Yep.
What was the next thing we gotta do?
Oh, no, I think you guys all said yes on the, no.
Inside,
On
outside.
the, what you brought up. from-
Property accountability.
Yes, that
Yes.
doesn't
Right,
need
that's-
any,
Yeah, we're working on that.
you're good on that.
Yeah, I just want
wanted to make sure
clarity
was
that we
one of
weren't
the
talking
things.
about
Okay.
the same thing.
Yep, no.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
that's gonna go forward, right?
Yeah, we're working on that right now.
Okay.
I just wanted clarity if we were talking about something completely different or, you know,
No.
we had to scrap everything and start over again.
No.
Got it.
We wanna get that going.
Okay.
Was there anything else? We don't think too hard.
Yeah, no, I think the thought I had actually is probably more starts in Kyle's purview and then can trickle out to us. And I was thinking about shared services with other municipalities and things like that. But maybe, because I'm not equipped to say what would be shared, but Kyle would.
Well, and I think,
Mhm.
I think you're correct, because I think the city manager is going to be the one to know
Yes, what should be done.
who's even available to share a service with.
Yes.
And I think wanna take a
We're all
stab
for
at saying,
that.
I think everybody's for that too.
Yeah. Yes.
Every municipality I've talked to so far said yes.
Yes.
So
Yay.
it's just a matter of trying to figure out now, which is really the hard part.
Scheduling?
Well,
That's on you.
that too, yeah, I was gonna
This-
say,
oh,
who
you
wants
need
to lose
schedule
what
for
money?
the-
No, Kyle scheduling a meeting.
Oh.
Yeah.
Anything else we wanna talk about?
I got a really quick thing. Someone locally approached me, I even brought laminating pictures. So, people coming into Oneida, I think we have a bit of a morale crisis that we all know, whether it's through social media or just, trying to make the city look nice, and we have all these great efforts. And this, one of the major points of people entering into the city is through this little spot right here. This is down by Walmart, across from, over by the Five Corners. And the person was just noting that, it's overgrown and it's just not super appealing to look at coming in. But, it's very fixable, right? It is technically a state road. The DPW, I'm sure if we called them and said, hey, go mow this down, I'm sure they'd take care of it. But since, I think in the spirit of what I'm gonna call a morale crisis for the city, I think this kind of trickles down, right? So we're short on money. We're trying to make every penny go as far as we can, and kind of going to the DPW in their building, right? We know how sad the green building is on Shenandoah. It's in rough shape. There's a lot of things inside that need to be fixed. And I wondered, and I know, piggybacking on the fuel conversation, is there anywhere in a budget line that we could even maybe fix the lights, put a coat of paint on it, just for the guys in there that maybe if they feel pumped up and they feel like, maybe the toilet that's been broken for a long time has been fixed, maybe they'd be, just catalyze something positive.
Yeah, absolutely. So a little bit background on that. We have $2 million from FEMA to build a new building, new DPW. That building was the victim of a flood. So since then, we've done some preliminary design concepts before my time. All the ones that I've seen are anywhere from $4 to $6 million. So the question, from my understanding, has always been, what do we do? Do we hold on to this money and then bond for the other $4 million? What's the plan? It's not something that has been a super priority for me, so it's kind of been on the back burner, but that's the backstory with it. So we have that $2 million from FEMA. We have some designs that are coming in several years back, and they were much higher, so I imagine if you did it today, you'd probably come back with an additional 20 to 30% increase in that as well. So that being said, we do have some money, but it's not enough to build a new building.
Is it enough to maybe fix some of the things inside
Well,
of this?
we wanna take the building out of it, and we were gonna move it
That
up to
money-
wastewater treatment, but their project is too big at this point, so we couldn't move it up there. But they wanted to get it out of.
It's in a flood zone.
Correct.
Right, I know.
We
So-
can't use a dime of that on that building.
Yeah.
That's why we were given the money, is to
To
get it out.
move that,
Right.
Okay, so since that money is not possible, just since I had a very intelligent person giving me a great analogy, we don't have the budget for steak a steak dinner? Can we eat a hamburger while we're waiting? Could we do something to the building just to spruce it up? Is there anything that we could do to make it more workable, kind of more livable
It's
for the
not-
guys in the DPW?
Yeah, it's not budgeted for.
It's okay. Well, I wondered if, I know I'd be willing to throw in some of my counselor, I'd throw in a couple $100 of my counselor, my city money to help put toward, I don't know, paint, anything, fixing some lights. I'd be happy to do that. I don't know if that's doable. I just would really like to be able to do this somehow for these guys, just to give them some things. That morale, I think, is low because buildings sad.
But be careful, because they don't have gas to cook the burgers, so they're gonna be raw.
Okay, I get it.
Well, yeah, I think that killing my fuel line is gonna hurt morale more in that building.
Yeah, that was my.
That's gonna hurt more in that building. I'm gonna have to go back and answer 40 emails now from people. It's like the residents.
So no, I'm the paint.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
I got you.
but when it comes to morale, that's what I'm saying. I think that's.
But honestly, Lynn,
Yeah.
that's something in the budget.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
mean, that's something that we
To
can
bring
talk
up when we
about,
start talking.
if that's
Sure.
what, if that's a priority, then we figure it out, but.
Cool. All right. Thank you.
Anything else? Any other,
Sort of-
committee-based ideas that you'd like to run by council overall here about?
Oh, that was great.
I wanna make sure I captured everything from the council, so we're gonna, Leanne and I are gonna work looking at the budget lines for the fuel costs. We have a couple different questions, shared services we're still working on, that's coming down the road. The short-term rental, that's the committee you guys are forming tonight, that's gonna be a separate from the property accountability sheet that we're currently working on and will continue to work on. Okay, I got it. Did I miss anything from that? Or miss? Okay.
Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any abstentions? Anybody want to stay? Thanks, guys. Actually, that was a good meeting.
Yeah, it's one in the budget.
I think it's 100.